All right, so this is a more difficult example in where we look at how we're going to sketch a cubic function. So we have minus x times 1 minus x squared. Okay, so the first thing that we would always do is look at the endpoints. We can't do that here because we haven't been given any endpoints, and that's fine. So the second thing we'll look at is our x-intercepts. Now the first one's easy. We even recognise using the null factor law that minus x equals 0. So therefore, there is an intercept at x equals 0. All right. The other one is when 1 minus x squared equals 0. So if we rearrange this equation, what we're going to get is 1 equals x squared. So we need to find the equations where, or the solutions when x squared equals 1. So in this case, x squared equals 1 if x is plus or minus 1, because negative 1 squared is 1 and 1 squared is also 1. All right, so what we're left with is we've got x-intercepts at 0, negative 1, and 1. All right, this is a cubic function. So typically, because this cubic function is an odd function, we'll be starting it from the bottom, because we always start odd functions from the bottom. However, what we're going to do is we're going to expand this equation to see what it is in its typical format. So what we've got at the moment of minus x times 1 minus x squared, that's in factorized format. So if we expand that, what we get is minus x and then plus x cubed. So what you'll notice is that the highest degree of x is 3, obviously, so that's, therefore it's a cubic function. But the sign before that is positive. So since it is positive, it means we're going to be starting from this lower quadrant here. All right. So what we're going to do now is we're actually going to plot those points on the graph. So firstly, we've got an intercept at negative 1. We've got an intercept at 0. And we've got an intercept at 1. So we're going to start from the bottom. We'll come up and pass through this point. We're going to come back down, pass through this point, and then up through 1. All right. So each of these points we actually pass through. Now this can be a little bit confusing because one of the factors is 1 minus x squared. So you might think that we need to bounce off 1 or more of the x-intercepts, but this actually isn't the case, because we can understand using other laws that we already know. For example, we know that a plus b times a minus b equals a squared minus b squared. So what we've got in this first factor here is it's in the form of the latter at the bottom. Okay, so we're going to assume that a squared equals 1 and b squared equals x squared. So therefore, a is 1 and b is x. So therefore, 1 minus x squared is actually equal to 1 minus x times 1 plus x. So therefore, our equation is actually minus x times 1 minus x times 1 plus x. And what you'll realize is each of these three factors are linear. So therefore, at the point negative 1, at the point 1, and at the point 0, the intercepts, or the line of the graph, passes through the intercepts straight through. All right, I hope that helps. Getting a little bit more of a deeper understanding of how we're going to sketch cubic graphs with more challengingly put together questions that you may not have seen before. So it's always the same process. We just have to make sure that we're a little bit more careful and more aware of the other formulas such as a squared plus b squared, the difference of perfect squares, so that they can help us develop our confidence in producing a stronger, more correct answer, obviously. All right, all the best.